Welcome back to the homestead, y'all. Just a quick video today. We are hooking up our propane finally. I'm not doing it myself because I've got my buddy Eddie over here who is a plumber. So we're gonna do an exchange of or a barter for services. I'm gonna do some architectural work for him and he's gonna do this plumbing work for us, which is really nice. And so we're just gonna run the gas lines. We're running the black pipe under the house right now, and then just connecting everything up. And we've got a new stove and a new dryer. I'm taking those off the solar system. I'm gonna keep the stove and the dryer as redundant systems. So if I ever need them again, the electric stove and dryer that is, if I ever need them again, I have them. I have the solar. You know, guys, I love redundancy. And so all the redundancy that you can build into your off-grid homestead, I recommend you do so. So Eddie's got this great machine here. He's gonna cut the threads on the ends of the black pipe. We cut this one off to length, and this machine just puts the threads on the end so we can put everything together. It's pretty cool.
Right there, and then you adjust up and down for the pipe to go through here.
Nice. Those are great hangers.
Yeah. Hold it there.
Well, everyone, we are getting things wrapped up here and hanging this pipe. We've necked it down from 1.25 to 3/4 here for the stove. This line's for the stove, and the riser for the dryer is in the middle of this line over here. It's kind of hard to see under here, sorry. And I'll explain everything more when we get out of here. So we're running a pressure test on the lines, and we've got a slight leak somewhere, and so we're tightening everything else back up and rechecking it here. So propane and natural gas are really low pressure. I know in New York it's 3 pounds of pressure that this test needs to hold for 30 minutes. Not sure with Texas or whatever, but if it holds this pressure, it should be completely fine. And it's low pressure after our green regulator. Over on the tank, we've got a red regulator, and it's a much higher pressure. So here I am back behind where the stove is gonna go. We've got our line, our 3/4 inch line coming up right here. And we're gonna have to make a conversion because I didn't pay attention. When you do this, the gas valves that you get from the plumbing supply house, or wherever you get them from, Home Depot, Lowe's, but plumbing supply houses are normally cheaper. This one, they gave me a 3/4 to 3/4, and that's not going to fit the fittings that come with the gas line kit that you normally buy. The kit normally has a flexible tube like this, and this one has a special adapter here that has kind of a, I guess I could describe it as a backflow preventer, but it's a diaphragm in here. If the pressure gets too high, it closes up. But I needed to go out and buy a 2-inch nipple and a reducer from 3/4 to 1/2 inch. So I'm going to fit these additional pieces on here, and then we are ready to convert the stove, and then we're ready to bring it inside and finally hook it up. And of course, after you're done doing this, you can check it with soapy water on this end. We did that pressure test yesterday on the rest of the system, and it held for a 1/2 hour. So the last part of the project is to convert your stove and your dryer over to propane, because normally they come configured for natural gas. So the first thing is the stove. That's the biggest thing, actually, because you need to switch out all these little, what they call spuds, for each burners and inside in the oven. Also on the back, on the regulator, there's a little cap you take off, and you have to flip something upside down on this particular Whirlpool model. And that will convert that from natural gas to propane. Propane, I think, is lower pressure than natural gas, so it'll just allow lower pressure through the system, and these will accommodate for that. Each stove model is going to be different. Basically, you take off the top of the burner here, and you can see the spud down in there. You have your propane spuds here, and it comes with the natural gas ones. Just find the proper size tool and remove it and replace it with this one. Now, keep in mind that some of these stoves have a particular order to which one it is. Each spud on the side has a number stamped on it, and it'll correspond to this chart, and you will figure out which burner gets which spud. And then, like I said on the back on the regulator, if you're switching from natural gas to propane, you just have to open this cap and flip this little piece right here. You might need a magnetic tool for this because my tools here aren't magnetic, and they're barely enough to get my fingers in to get this thing out. There we go. So of course you also need to change the spud out for the oven burner on the bottom. This one's a little complicated to get to. I don't know if I'm going to get the camera in here, but each model is going to be different, like I said. So follow the instructions and replace that spud for the oven. For this one, there's a screw on this bottom burner, and you slide it out, and then you can see the spud all the way at the back here, if you can see that. And I just need to replace that. So this one's going to be a big challenge, guys. The portion where we need to flip for propane to natural gas on the regulator is on the back, through the back of the broiler drawer. I need to remove that cap and flip the thing on the inside. So I'm not going to be able to show you on camera, but just follow the instructions and you should be good. All right, here we go. So everything's in, everything's connected. I just haven't pushed it back against the wall because I want to make 100% sure everything's tight. Also, we're going to start it here on camera. Tried a second ago and it didn't start, and here's the reason why. We need to purge all of the air. Even though you hear something coming out, you need to purge all the air out of those brand new pipes, that black pipe that we put in, and that half-inch all the way, the half-inch copper all the way from the propane tank outside. So it's going to take maybe a minute, 2 minutes, depends on how far away everything is. That half-inch copper's got to feed that 1.25 inch black pipe underneath the house, and it's got to get all that air out of there. So it might take a few minutes, but we'll get it. You don't have to sit there with the igniter on, but you want to make sure you don't start smelling a whole ton of gas. Make sure when you're doing this though, everything is well ventilated in the house also. Just in case you let too much gas run out, you want to let everything chill out and air out before you try sparking it up. There we go. Took about a minute. We're excited to have this in and to take this off of our solar load. Now I know there's a lot of detractors out there that say, well, your propane's expensive, it's a consumable, you're not really off grid because you're relying on that, but we've got redundancy and options, and I can very well easily put that electric stove right back in here. So I've also got a friend who actually cooked with propane from a 500-gallon tank for 3 years. So the amount of propane that we're using is not a lot. If we're conservative, we're not cooking 24/7. And I have the dryer on the system, but I don't need to use that. I'm going to be putting up clotheslines. Obviously, I can dry clothes totally other ways. So in an emergency situation, we can use this stove for a long period of time on that 1,000-gallon tank we have outside. And then, of course, again, solar is back up, and I have an induction cooktop also that doesn't use that much. It uses up to maybe 1,800 watts, but it cooks so fast. It's really cool. So that's another item in my arsenal for cooking during tough times. Okay, now it's time to get these stickers off here and get cooking. Please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Also, like and share the video. It really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. Now go click on this series of videos right here, which is our whole series on our solar system and how we built it by ourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye. Bye.